Hey everybody, it's the coach. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we've got what should be a good one between the Miami Dolphins and the Dallas Cowboys. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
Coach, EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the Lone Star State and the very mammoth AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Miami Dolphins and the Dallas Cowboys. Hello again, everyone. I'm Brandon Gaudin, joined as always by Charles Davis. And Charles, you take a look at this Cowboy team entering play. It's an early test here after 2 losses to start the season, and a game they probably really need.
Obviously, no way do they want to get to 0-3. Not many teams make the playoffs with that kind of a start.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Dolphins, they were winners last time out, so they'll be looking, Charles, to make it 2 in a row.
And what I enjoyed when I watched their game tape and their victory last week is they put it together in every phase. Good offense, good defense, and some key plays on special teams. Let's see if they can get that second win in a row.
It's an Indian summer afternoon. Perfect conditions for football, and off we go on EA Sports. This is taken at the 3. And not a bad return. Here he gets it out to the 25-yard line. So here are the Cowboys now ready to go on offense for the first time. Orchestrating the offense will be the top pick in the 2018 draft, and that's Baker Mayfield.
And I saw that he had an interesting quote in the research packet that we had after last week's game. It's all on me now. I've got to lead my team and find a way for us to win a game. 0-2, but they're at home. I guess he's going to try and find a way to get the home crowd involved early.
Mayfield to throw it. He'll have a first down past the 40. And he'll get this all the way up to the 42-yard line. Give him 18 on that one, and it's a Dallas first down.
I do believe we'll see a little bit more of this as this game progresses, because when you can have that type of a gain in the middle of the defense, it hurts them in so many ways, because most teams like to be strong down the middle. And if you can sting them there, that opens things up for you on the outside as well.
But that's where their big tight end, is so good, that middle third, the seam routes, the in routes. Yeah, you're right. Probably see more of that.
Yeah, it takes a lot of courage and fortitude to go in the middle as well, and he's got it.
Deron Harmon makes the tackle. And the offensive starters for Dallas.
And every time I spotlight Frank Gore, who turned 36, and man, I feel worse about myself. Fantastic physical condition, a 5-time Pro Bowler, and one of the top runners in NFL history.
Now on second down, this is Gore. And once again, the Dolphin defense holds firm as they'll stop him behind the line of scrimmage. The tally there, -2 yards, brings up third down.
No surprise there, Jadeveon Clowney with a tackle for loss. We all know how he became one of the most famous players in football, though, don't we remember?
Oh, that one play.
Yeah, that one big-time play was on highlights everywhere. They want to see more of that here in the NFL.
You got nothing today. You got nothing.
On third down, Mayfield. This short throw caught by Goddard, and he gets this only to the 44-yard line. Not near enough to keep the drive alive. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down.
He wasn't the primary target, but I think it was almost like a check down situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, hoping he can break some tackles, a big tight end, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, get it to that big frame and hope he can scatter some bodies, unable to get it done.
On 4th down, here's Justin Vogel on to punt it away. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. And a bit of a mistake there. This is well into the end zone for a touchback. So here are the Dolphins now under first-time head coach Brian Flores. They're led out by Aaron Rodgers, who won Super Bowl 45 right here in this very stadium.
And in fine fashion, too. The MVP, what did he throw for? Over 300 yards, 3 touchdowns?
3 touchdowns.
Boy, he had a big day, and they needed every bit of that in beating Pittsburgh for another championship for the Green Bay Packers. But when you watch him play, how much fun is it to see him go out there, dissect defenses with not just his arm but his mind? And I think his ability to move is a huge part of his game.
The headshots here are the offensive unit. And what about Brandon Cooks?
If he's not a 1,000-yard receiver every year he's healthy in the league, I'll be surprised. Came out of college wanting to be a pro, studied all the best receivers in the NFL before he even got to the league.
Here's Jacobs, and he'll get about 3 as he takes this up near the 25. And now the defense for Dallas.
From the time he entered the NFL, Terrell Suggs has been a load to block for anyone. His ability to get upfield and make plays in the backfield, almost unparalleled.
And on third down, the Cowboys bring in an extra defensive back. Shotgun now for Rodgers. This is caught. It's Cooks. And he's got the first down, yardage before being taken down at midfield. That one goes for 24 yards.
And let's face it, what we just saw there, not a surprise, is it? I mean, this is what he does well. And if you don't tackle him as soon as he catches the ball, this is the end result. Big yardage afterwards.
Got the speed, the agility, so good with run after catch. And we're only in the first quarter, so they better get a wrangle and a hold on that quickly.
Yeah, you're exactly right. What's really difficult to try and defend him is if you want to press him so that you get him on the ground quickly after the catch, a lot of times he'll just run past you at the initial point of contact, and he'll go deep.
A first carry for the Clemson man, Wayne Gallman. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. That one good for 13 and a Dolphin first down.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Gallman will run it. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down. On second down, Jacobs. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up third down.
I'm getting the sense that Fletcher Cox is making offensive linemen want to take the week off when they have to play against him.
It's a regular routine for him, isn't it?
It really is. That play there, that's him all day long. Good luck trying to block him and keep him from disrupting your offense.
So third down now. They need the 27-yard line for a first. From the gun, it's Rodgers. Got it complete to Rodgers. And he will be marked down short of the first as they get to him at the 29. That will go as a pickup of 7 on the 7th play of the drive.
One of the money routes for any offense, the drag route. So tough to defend because the receiver can stop at any point and make himself available to the quarterback and get a completion. But I love the communication we saw there. All the defenders pointing out the receiver, where he was going, and then they're able to rally to the ball after the catch and stop him short of a first down.
And his kick is absolutely perfect. And the Dolphins will jump out to a 3-0 lead. In the end, the opening drive, Charles, does yield points. Maybe not the touchdown that they wanted, though.
Yeah, but bottom line, they wanted to get something out of that drive, and they did that. 3 points, they won't turn that down at all.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This will be fielded at the 6. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. Here's the Dallas offense now heading back out onto the field and hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win first down. You win second down. And guess what? You start accumulating first downs. And that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. Plays like we just saw there, that's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
Throwing on 2nd and 14. Mayfield. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31. Mayfield from the gun on 3rd down. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Duron Harmon. And they will set up shop in enemy territory at the 42-yard line.
Well, that's a drive killer right there. Not a really confident throw either. This one was kind of up for grabs, and it's going to come down the hands of the wrong team.
Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. Well, what do you think? You get the ball off the turnover near the middle of the field. You take a shot here on the first play?
You know I'm big on that. I love when I have great field position. After a turnover, I feel like I might have them a little bit off balance. I prefer to take a shot, but a lot of coaches will tell you, you only do it if you trust the guy who's got the football in his hands. Meaning, if it's not there, he won't force it downfield and maybe turn into an interception. He'll go to the check down, go to a second option, and go ahead and take the play that's in front of him.
Running is Jacobs. He winds up getting only a couple there, down to the 29. A check on Jacobs from a week ago. 20 carries, 59 yards.
And I'm eager to see how they deploy him in this game. Last week, a heavy workload. Do they decide to bring that down a little bit and try and keep him fresh? Or do they say, guess what? He's locked in. Keep handing him the football.
On 2nd down, it's Jacobs. So a nice job to break the one tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. Throwing is Rodgers on 3rd down. And tight coverage there. It's knocked away, incomplete.
As my dad used to tell me all the time, when you're getting ready to play a big-time game, especially when you have one going into a dome setting, better strap it up tight because that crowd can really affect things.
Especially on 3rd downs like the one we just saw there with the incompletion. So out comes the field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. He hit his first. Now this from 43. Sanders' kick is good. And that'll make it 6-0 here in the first. So scores on their first 2 possessions, but 6-0, so field goals probably not what they were hoping for.
Yeah, you're exactly right about that. Not what they were hoping for, but they should be happy that they have points on the board. It almost feels like that old slow and steady wins the race, doesn't it? In this case, though, they want to be slow and steady now, but get explosive later and put the points up on.
Now a hit and a loose football. And a great return as he gets this all the way down close to the 30-yard line. So a teammate picking him up there, that was nearly disaster.
And the way that you coach these things, you want to make sure you have eyes towards the return guy because you want to make sure that the catch is secured. A lot of teams do that. They have at least one guy. Okay, you're responsible for making sure he secures the catch. He's not always the one that makes the recovery, but he can always sound out the alarm. Hey, ball's on the ground. We've got to get it back.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Throwing is Rodgers. Now a clash of bodies here, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Justin Simmons.
The good old cover 3 defense, partner. When you start playing football as a safety, that's the first thing you're taught. Middle of the field, be as deep as the deepest receiver in any zone, and break on the football when it's thrown and pick it off, just as we saw there.
Baker Mayfield leads the offense out for their next possession. He'll look to shake off the interception on the opening drive. He should at least be comforted that it resulted in 3, not 6.
And if I were him, I would be the guy all the way out on the field greeting my defense now, saying thanks a lot. You held them to a field goal after I turned it over. That's a big defensive stand for them. He needs to go out now and make up for what he did on the first drive.
Credit the tackle there to Aaron Lynch. Look at the starters defensively for the Dolphins. They were strong last week, CD, and that win over New England.
And what I saw on film was nearly an unstoppable pass rush. They had 5 sacks last week, plenty of hurries. So now do you just max protect on offense, keep everyone in, and run, 1 or 2 receiver routes to make sure your quarterback stays up? We'll soon find out.
Throwing on second down. Mayfield looking left side. He's got it. Complete. Give him 14 on that one and a first down. Now they can breathe a little easier, some room to operate as they've got it 1st and 10 now out past the 20. And not a lot of daylight, not really any daylight inside as he's going to be stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Brings up second down.
At the 22-yard line.
6-0 our score after 1. Start of the second quarter, and it's the Cowboys in possession as they've got it with a 2nd and 10. Now a delayed give to Gore. And he'll get this up over the 25 to the 26.
He's brought down by It's a gain of 4.
From the shotgun, it's Mayfield. This short throw caught by Goddard. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th. A pass for negative yardage, obviously no good. Maybe he shouldn't have thrown it, or maybe he shouldn't have caught it.
And I think we were seeing it at the same time, weren't we? Maybe you let that one go, right? Because you can see the lost yardage about to develop, but that goes against every instinct of a receiver. They're taught to catch everything. So it's really hard to be mad at him and yell at him for trying to make that play.
Now Aaron Rodgers in the offense heading back onto the field. He has not had the start to the game that he envisions here in the second quarter. He's struggling a little bit. But, hey, they're in the lead right now. So kind of what's going on in his head, do you think, Charles?
I think that's what he has to keep in mind. Winning the ball game is not going the way he wants in terms of his own play. But, oh, yeah, that's right, winning the ball game. So don't press. Don't try and do things outside of what's going on right now. Don't try to increase your game or get yourself right. Just make sure you continue to lead your ball club and keep them moving in the right direction.
Well, they've got that lead so far. 1 interception for him, no touchdown passes. 4 yards the pickup, first down. On 1st and 10, here's Rodgers. And his throw is incomplete. The intended target right end, Austin Safarian-Jenkins. And that'll bring up second down. On second down now, it's Jacobs. And once again, not much running room, if any at all. Back-to-back stops make it 3rd and 10. To throw on 3rd down, Rodgers brings it in. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. They'll get 10 there, but it leaves them just short for 4th down.
A short gain that doesn't get them the first down brings up a 4th down situation.
Really nice job defensively. They knew where the sticks were. They got the stop before it. So on 4th down, Britton Colquitt on to punt. He punted 5 times in the win last week as this one's away. And a little too much mustard on that one. It hits a couple yards into the end zone. A missed opportunity there maybe to pin him back. Frank Gore and company trotting back out there as they get set to go again on offense. They haven't been able to get him on track. They haven't been able to get this offense on track. No points so far.
Maybe it's time to start doing a few different things. Throwing the ball a little bit. Maybe featuring other people touching it for a while, and then you've got a chance to come back to it when things have changed a little bit. They have to make an adjustment.
And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Picked off by Kenny Moore, and he's able to get it back here to the 43-yard line.
When a team's turned it over 3 times in the first half, we just look at the offense and say, guys, what are you doing? But instead, we really should be looking at the defense. They've created the takeaways. 2 interceptions, 1 caused fumble. They played awfully well swarming to the ball here in the first half.
And we move to spotlighting Brandon Cooks. Second quarter here, he has only one catch, but they have the lead. You got to think there's going to be more involved at some point.
That's what you would expect, but sometimes what defenses do to take away a player of his magnitude, it costs them in other areas. And right now, with them losing, they may have to change their focus, and maybe he will open up a little bit more as the game goes on.
Yeah, well, so far, just the single catch. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. This is Gallman. And he'll fight forward maybe to the line of scrimmage, but that's all. Terrell Suggs in on the tackle. They go back to the ground, this time Jacobs. And he gets it to the 32, good enough for a first down. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
Come on, baby. Let's see what you got.
On first down, they go with Jacobs again. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it 2nd down. They run it with Jacobs. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down. Now Gallman. And shedding his way forward. And he's going to get this one down inside the 15. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. Throwing on 2nd and 3. Rodgers. Throw complete there. Rodgers. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. 11 yards there. First down. Throwing now is Rodgers. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. They'll go again from the 3 here on 2nd and goal. To throw is Rodgers. That is caught by Rodgers. Touchdown, Miami. Richard Rodgers. His 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Dolphins are able to extend that advantage.
That's almost just not right. You cover everybody, but those tight ends, they can be awfully reliable.
Very reliable. The defense just has to hate those guys.
Just drives them crazy because oftentimes you can't match up with them. They have you either with size, speed, or maybe even just strength.
Extra point up and good by Sanders. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. So that drive consumes 9 plays all told. And it ends with a touchdown for the Dolphins. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This fielded at the 2. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. And our focus now shifts to Frank Gore. He's just been looking for some space. You know, I'm not going to pin it on him or the offensive line, but they need to get this run game going better.
Sometimes you just have to credit the defense. They came in with a plan themselves. So I think now you try and mix things up a little bit. Get the ball in the hands of some other people, find some other playmakers, but always let the defense believe that he's still a threat.
I was going to say, don't forget about him.
No, don't take him totally out of the game.
Looks like he's going to get a couple here on this first down carry, and that'll make it 2nd and 8. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. They run. It's Gore. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Here's Mayfield. He's got Dallas Goedert, his tight end, over the middle. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. Mayfield, 11 yards and a Cowboy first down. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. Now the Cowboys going to burn the first of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with exactly a minute to go before halftime. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. And again, it's Mayfield. Here's Sanu on the catch. The Cowboys going to use their second timeout now, as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Mayfield with it once more. He's got Gore. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball, because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
Here's play number 7 on the drive. This is 3rd and 7. Mayfield looks to throw. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Tre'Davious White with a pick.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. We're in the 2nd quarter. They've got the lead. The lead, though, not so much because of the ground game, because of their air attack, Charles.
So what they're seeing so far is the possibility of things loosening up later in the ground game. Through the air first, maybe they have to start respecting that even more as the game goes on, and then there will be running lanes to find later.
Yeah, try to get him more involved here on this drive, maybe. So we've reached the intermission in what right now is a 13-point game. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, Brandon, thanks. And welcome in everybody to our EA Sports Halftime Report. Time for a look around the NFL here in Week 3 of the new year. Lastly, let's check on one final game for you. And you can see they are scoreless as they play the 2nd quarter. In our game has been Aaron Rodgers, who was on target in the first half. His guys have the lead, as we'll hand it back over to our commentators, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Fielded about a yard deep. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. So now the Dolphins set to take over on offense. They defeated the Patriots last week, now looking to make it 2 in a row here as they come up 1st and 10. The drive begins with a handoff to Gallman. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. From the 27, Rodgers throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. It's a first down on a gain of 10. Shotgun now for Rodgers. And he's going to have the hook up to Sutton. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. Now Rodgers. And Rodgers is going to go down. He's sacked. Give the sack to Fletcher Cox.
They need to stop to get back into this game, and here's one right to start the third quarter.
Yeah, anytime you go to the lockers with that 2-3 score deficit, you're right. You need that stop, get the football back, and they've done just that.
Series to series, play to play.
Yeah, the Cowboys here on third down, bringing in an extra defensive back. To throw, it's Rodgers. And that is incomplete. So good work there on the defensive side for the first drive of the second half.
Yeah, and until their offense can get into rhythm, their defensive players and staff have got to say to themselves, we've got to make it work. We've got to stand in here and make sure nothing else happens until our guys start moving the ball.
Here's Britton Colquitt now as he'll punt it away for the second time. And did they keep it in? They did. They kept it in. It's down close to the goal line at the 1-yard line. Heading back out, Baker Mayfield, as we call up our player spotlight. And I guess right now, as we look at some of his struggles today, the term next play really applies here. He's got to move on.
I love where your head is on that because that's where his head needs to be. Exactly what you said. Yes, there have been mistakes made, but he's got to move on and play the next play as if it didn't happen. Keep his confidence up. But how about the guys on the defensive side of the ball? They've got to be feeling great about what's going on right now. They've already gotten to him a few times. They want to keep that up. Maybe they can pick off a few more.
Well, they disrupted already for 3 INTs.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Now a play fake here on first down. And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. Now, those linemen, of course, can't be more than a yard downfield when a pass is thrown, and they might have been able to call that on a couple of guys there.
180! Guys, it's game situation. Let's go. What's that?
Following the penalty, it's Gore. And he'll be taken down, losing yardage back at the 9-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle.
58, 180! 58, right there. Strip the ball. Strip that ball.
On second down, Gore. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 2, now third down.
But these guys are going to chop into that deficit. They're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
First and second down were a disaster. Both went backwards. Now it's 3rd and 18. They need something big. To throw, Mayfield. They'll set up the screen. This is Williams. 5 yards on the screen, but that'll take us to 4th down.
They dialed up the screen pass on 3rd down, and for a second it looked like it was all going to come together, and they had a chance to pick up a first down, but the defense got there and finished it off.
Out now comes the Cowboys punter, standing about a yard deep in his own end zone. A big kick there. We'll call it 56 yards on the punt. And it'll be Dolphin football. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you content to play the field position game?
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself.
And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and right at a yard. Once again, it's Jacobs. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Rodgers going to try and throw on third down. They're going to Gallman here on the screen. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. It'll wind up being a loss of 2. And that's going to bring up a fourth down.
I love the intelligence the defense just showed there. Read their keys, saw the screen developing, ran to it, and smothered it. What a third down stop by them.
Here's Britton Colquitt now as he's on to punt for Miami. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
Again, they run. Again, it's Gore. And shedding the tackle, and now some room. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Working out of the gun, Mayfield. His throw incomplete. Michael Gallup, that's who he was looking for, but it'll be second down. Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 35.
We got 4.
They run with Gore out of the shotgun. And his rough afternoon continues. He's going nowhere again. Tackle made there by Myles Garrett. From the gun, Mayfield. Pressure comes and down goes Baker Mayfield. Sheldon Rankins abruptly ends that play with a sack. That's their first time getting to the quarterback, sack number 1. And, they had 5 last week, I'm remembering.
And you have to find a way to slow down the pass rush, not necessarily with just protecting your quarterback, but you show them a lot of different looks, and they did that in the first half. Different angles, different things to slow down the speed. They got to him here in the second half. Now they've got to come up with a counter to that and maybe do something different.
On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. So possession goes over here on the punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you called before, realize it hasn't worked.
And that's caught inside the 30. And they finally do get him, but not before he reaches the 27. Every defensive staff harps on limiting explosive plays. Job not so well done there.
Yeah, they talk about it all the time. A lot harder to stop, though, isn't it? And when you think of an explosive play, Most offensive staffs define them as passes of 20 or more yards and runs of 15 or more yards.
They went zooming past that number there. So that changes things in a big way. Now from all the way down inside the 30, here's 1st and 10. There's a throw over the middle. It's taken in by his tight end. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. Give him 12 yards there, and the Dolphins have a first down.
When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the first down.
Rodgers now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. Here's Jacobs on 1st and 10. And this carry terminated at the 8-yard line. Good stick skill showing the power, but just not much room to operate. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. So the solid run on 1st, and I would imagine no real hurry to run that 2nd down play.
No, it's all on your quarterback now. He's going to keep an eye on the play clock and bleed things down, and he's not going to let the ball be snapped until it's inside 3 seconds left on the play clock. Unless, of course, you're playing a video game, you're trying to run it up on your friend.
Nice touch. Cold-blooded, too. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down. They'll run it with Jacobs. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
Back at the 5-yard line now, 2nd and goal. Now they'll throw with Rodgers. And that is caught. Touchdown, Miami. Cortland Sutton, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Dolphins are able to extend that advantage. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning, right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
And the Cowboys' pressure gets there this time for the sack. So tried to throw it in for 2 points, but the D got home, brought him down.
Yeah, got home, which means there had to be good coverage, just had nowhere to go with the ball. Typically, you try and throw quick hitters, quick slants, maybe even a quick fade. Nothing was open. He ends up getting sacked.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This one fielded at the 5. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Here's the Dallas offense now, heading back out onto the field. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
Mayfield now. And this one brought in by Sanu. And they work this well upfield across the 45. That good for 21 yards on the catch and run.
Quarterbacks love slant routes because the receivers are breaking right into their line of vision, and receivers love them as well because they're getting the ball on the move and able to catch it and try and get upfield and gain additional yardage.
A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. Now Mayfield. Caught by Sanu. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. That's now a pair of explosive plays in succession, both north of 20 yards. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. From the shotgun, it's Mayfield. His short throw caught by Goddard. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. That first down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. Back to the workhorse today. It's Gore. Down to the 25. Jeff Heath, the one to bring him down. Mayfield from the gun on 3rd down. And he's able to hook up with Michael Gallup. And he takes it down to the 10-yard line. Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While he gets attended to, we'll step aside. Mayfield now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. Mayfield to throw it. Gets this one to Morris. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. A gain of 4 on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
2nd and 6.
To throw again on 2nd down. Mayfield. And it's caught. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. The Cowboys on 3rd down. They've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. This time they face a 3rd and 2. And he's going to be taken down here still a couple yards short of the 1st.
Face mask. Defense.
Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post, because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
So the ball's moved to about the 1 after the penalty. 1st and goal.
Check 50. Check 50.
On the toss, it's Gore. And he'll get blown up behind the line of scrimmage. Back at the 6. A full 5-yard loss that time. It's going to make 2nd down pretty tough. This linebacking core, they've done a good job of keeping that running game in check, haven't they?
They certainly have, and what they'll also do when this game is over is thank the guys up front, the big defensive line, because they've kept them clean, so to speak, not letting blockers get to them, allowing them to run to the football and keep that running game bottled up.
2nd and goal from the 6 this time. They'll stick to the ground game with Gore. And a minuscule gain of maybe a yard from the 6 to the 5. Call it a gain of a yard as they get a little bit closer here. It's 3rd and goal. Throwing, Mayfield. And he's going to be dropped. Back at the 15-yard line.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. They're already slim hopes are going to ride on this one. They'll go on 4th down.
What's tight? Tight is right. 4th down.
Now Mayfield on 4th down. And this is caught for a Cowboy touchdown. Keelan Cole, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Cowboys cut into that lead.
A lot of people might call this backyard football. Sometimes just understanding who you've got out wide and who you're going to throw it to. Give him an opportunity to go up and make a play, even when contested. Looks like that one worked out pretty well. The trust factor, in effect.
On for the extra point, Jake Elliott. And they're able to cut the deficit to 12. A pretty long drive that time, 11 plays all told. And it culminates in a Dallas touchdown. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over. Now, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this fourth quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
And he'll wind up with about 6, up past the 30 to the 31. Clock continuing to run. They'll probably wind this all the way before snapping it on second down. Here's Gallman. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. 7 yards there and a first down. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. A second down play results in a loss of 2 yards.
If you're a selfish player and you're throwing the ball, you're cool with the completion. Maybe not so cool with the yardage loss, though, huh?
Yeah, you went backwards on the yardage. Hey, it kind of works like a sack for the defense there.
Yeah, it's a really big play for them, right? Able to figure it out, sniff it out, and finish it off.
From the gun on third down, Rodgers. And that will be incomplete. Well, the other day they told us when we've got 3rd and 5 or less, we have to be able to convert. And I guess every team would say that, Charles, but an opportunity missed there.
What they were trying to tell us is they believe it's a matchup game at that point. And they liked some matchups that they had, thought they could exploit them, unable to do so on that play.
And a great job on special teams to down it, as this will be marked out inside the 5-yard line. So the Cowboys in possession of the football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Here's Mayfield. Incomplete. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Mayfield. Over the middle, and it's incomplete. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. They're going to look to throw. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And it's knocked away and incomplete. Looking to erase a 2-score deficit here in the fourth quarter. Going for some big plays.
Yeah, they certainly were. They just decided one shot, didn't they? Forget trying to move the ball downfield in small little increments. Let's go for the big one. But how about the defense playing situational football, looking at the scoreboard and realizing what can hurt us most? The deep shot. They played it well.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out. They'll look to throw here. And no, it's incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And my goodness, that means this next drive will begin 4 yards from the end zone already. So with that, we can just about close the book on this one, Charles.
Yeah, what's the old expression about slim and none? Well, Slim just left town on that
They're
one.
down to none?
Yes, exactly right.
The Dolphins offense now heads back on the field. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point. So this one fairly well in the bag as they take over with a 1st and goal. Rodgers throwing here. Rush coming in. Out. First to their timeout prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. So 1st down went in the wrong direction. They're at the 13-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal. Here's Rodgers. Rodgers brings it in. The catch good for 6 yards, but now it's 3rd and goal. This is 3rd and goal now. 80,000 on their feet here in Arlington. Working from the gun. Rodgers. And he's going to go down. Sacked right around the 17. The Cowboys going to use their 2nd timeout now as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next.
A 33-yard attempt.
Sanders' kick is good. And that will make this now a 15-point advantage. So they settle for just the 3, but clearly right now anything helps trying to salt this one away in the 4th.
Without a doubt, obviously a touchdown probably would have been the final nail to finish this thing off, but they still ate up time, got points. So while it's not mission accomplished, it's darn close.
This fielded at the 2. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Mayfield and the offense now. Down by 15. A minute 15 remaining. And they're in danger of a 3rd straight loss as they come up on 1st and 10. Mayfield on 1st down. And the Dolphins rush gets home. Down he goes. Myles Garrett able to record his 5th sack of the season. Another try after the 1st down sack. Mayfield, it's complete. It's Gore. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. Mayfield looks to throw.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
The Cowboys signal for their 3rd and final timeout as they get it with just 19 seconds left on the clock. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. And this carry number 20 for Frank Gore. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. So a victory here for the Miami Dolphins, and it was their defense that really paved the way to this victory as they allowed the 1 touchdown, and that was all she wrote.
Almost want to do the defense chant right now, right? Defense with a couple of claps in there, but no one wants to hear that from me. Let's just talk about how they got it done, though. When you take care of every aspect of the game, shut down the run, control the airways, right? Make sure the quarterback is harassed. This type of performance you get. They can't fashion together any offense, no consistency, and they just took control.
So for Miami, it's back-to-back victories now after the Week 1 defeat as they move to 2-1. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for the Cowboys, the early struggles continue as they'll sink to 0-3. And they'll try to turn things around next week as they have a matchup in New Orleans against the Saints. That'll do it for us. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis.
Mixin', fixin' for another big game. It's the coach. This is the 2019 season on EA Sports. Coming up, we'll see running back Joe Mixon coming off a 100-yard performance a week ago, as it'll be the New York Giants taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
Coach, as you know, being over in Orlando, still a bit warm here in Florida, but really all things considered, a wonderful fall afternoon for football here in Tampa at Raymond James Stadium. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the New York Giants and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Hi again, everyone. Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. And, Charles, you take a look at this Buccaneer ball club. They were winners last time out, so they'll be looking, Charles, to make it 2 in a row.
And what I enjoyed when I watched their game tape and their victory last week is they put it together in every phase. Good offense, good defense, and some key plays on special teams. Let's see if they can get that second win in a row.
On the other side of the field for the visiting Giants, it's been a great start to the season. Back-to-back wins to begin the campaign.
Yeah, you don't want to get too excited. There's still a lot of season to go, but they've come out.
It's an Indian summer afternoon. Perfect conditions for football, and off we go on EA Sports. This will be fielded at the 8. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. So out come the Bucs now for their first drive. They'll be led out by a former Pro Bowl quarterback out of the University of Georgia, Matthew Stafford.
That was a solid performance last week, wasn't it? 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, ran the team well, won the ball game. Bottom line, may not have been earth-shattering, but it didn't need to be.
Here we go.
On the ground with the rookie Devin Singletary. He's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down. From the 38, Stafford. Hits his target, the tight end, Mo Alley-Cox. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35.
And another thing that makes the comeback route really effective is that oftentimes after you've made the initial move, receivers breaking away from the defensive back, and that makes it a really tough play to defend. A nice chunk of yardage picked up there.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down.
Go.
A shotgun snap for Stafford. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And they're able to get this one past the 30 to the 25-yard line. That's good for a Buccaneer first, a pickup of 12 yards. They'll run on first down with Singletary. And he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2, and it brings up second down. And we get a glance now at the Buccaneer offense.
And the big key is going to be how can these wideouts create separation from the defensive backs, because we've seen some early success in the passing game in this one, and that's going to need to continue.
On second down, here's a run with Singletary. And not able to break away this time as they're going to stop him right around the line of scrimmage. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. A look now at the starters for the Giants defensively. They were terrific last week against Buffalo in that victory.
And the big difference in the game, their ability to force turnovers. Multiple, in fact. Being able to take the ball away, give it back to their offense, the big difference in the game.
It was impressive. Now the question, can they duplicate it? Throwing on third down, Stafford finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. Give him 3 on the play, and that'll bring up fourth down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
Now Aldrick Rosas for the field goal attempt. It'll be from the right hash, and it'll be a 36-yarder. And the kick by Rosas is good. And the Bucs take a 3-0 lead. So the opening drive does yield points, maybe not the 7 they wanted, but they'll take the 3.
Accumulating first downs does not go up on the scoreboard, but it does go into the DNA of a team that's trying to establish itself to start a game. That has to feel pretty good for them. They'll take the 3.
Yeah, they had 3 first downs and 3 points. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. So here are the Giants under second-year coach Pat Shurmur. They'll be led out by the Mississippi State man, now in his 4th season in the National Football League, Dak Prescott. Play action now, Prescott. Oh, he's going to take a shot right away. And that's caught inside the 35. Touchdown, Giants. Robbie Anderson, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Giants have taken the lead. Not a whole lot to recap on that drive. Just one play, 75 yards to the house.
Yeah, it's a long way to go. And remember, rarely is it a straight line 75 yards, too. Got to have a little extra in there. So whatever the final number is, a well-deserved seat on the bench, a little oxygen if he wants it as well.
Now Matt Bryant on for the point after. He's got it. They'll see that opening drive field goal and raise it a touchdown, and that makes it 7-3. One of the shortest drives you'll ever see. One play, 75 yards, 6 points. And after the touchdown, here's Bryant now to kick it away. This will be fielded at the 8. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. Here comes the Tampa Bay offense now heading back out onto the field. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. An ideal beginning of the drive there as they'll get 20 and a first down.
There are so many things to watch for when you play defense, and reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? And it sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him. A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. They'll run a draw now with Singletary. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, that didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
Ready? 20! 27. I got you, pop. Tighten up, tighten up, tighten up.
On 2nd down now, Singletary. And Singletary has it stripped.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover.
Ready? 180! You can't block me. You can't block me.
Now Stafford. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And boy, he is very close to a first down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Now the Pro Bowl kicker, Aldrick Rosas. Last year, he hit one from 57. And this will be spotted on the other side of the field. It's a 61-yard attempt. And this is good. It was running out of gas there at the end, but he winds up getting just enough on it. So it's not an NFL record, but it's not far off. That'll go in the books as a 61-yard field goal.
And wasn't it weird to see a guy line up for a field goal on the other side of midfield? The ball got halfway there, and you thought, no way is that going to make it, but it just kept carrying, and he winds up sneaking it right over the bar.
Robbie Anderson making his way back onto the field. The early returns for him, very good to start this season. Interesting to see if he can keep up that torrid pace.
Yeah, when you're talking about averaging 100 yards a game as a receiver, extrapolate that over 16 games, and you're having a monster season. So, yeah, you love what he's doing early, but I think it's got to go back to the offseason, doesn't it? It's got to go back to the roots, spending time with the guy who's going to throw the ball to him, spending time watching tape, spending time reading defenses, and, of course, getting himself ready to play.
Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33.
Go. Check.
Now Joe Mixon pushing tacklers aside, and he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Mixon. And that one goes for about 6 as he's taken down just shy of the 45. Play fake. Here's Prescott. And his throw here's incomplete. Robbie Anderson, the man he was looking for. And it's 3rd and 4. And we take a look now at the New York offense.
Yeah, I feel a little bad here because we missed out talking about these guys on the opening drive because they were in the end zone before we had a chance to even say anything. But let's keep an eye on these wideouts. QB already has 1 touchdown pass. You know he's looking for a few more before this one's over. Those wideouts will get plenty of opportunities to try and score again.
First catch for him on the afternoon, and it results in a first down.
Well, sometimes our pregame meetings do pay off, don't they? What do the guys in the locker room call him?
Well, they said it with a chuckle. They called him Old Reliable.
Yeah, that means he doesn't move quite as fast as he used to, but he still knows all the tricks, doesn't he? Even that little gentle push-off in order to get open, he finds a way to pick up a first down.
They go play action here on first down. Looking left sideline, but it's incomplete. Time for a look at our starters here on defense. And this unit, very tough to throw against, currently 2nd best in the NFL.
And I'm struggling a little bit trying to really categorize this crew. They're top 10 in the league against the pass, but the bottom half of the league in sacking the quarterback. That doesn't make sense. Imagine if this group ever put pressure on the QB, they'd easily move into the top 5.
Off the play fake, Prescott. Oh, nearly picked. And maybe lucky there. This guy doesn't drop many defensively. 3rd down. So a look here at the key inactives, and we got this list before the game down on the field. They tell us the same thing every time, don't they? Next man up.
No excuses. Be ready to play. That's the mantra of every organization. The key is having guys on the roster who are capable of filling in and playing at a high level. That's when you know you've drafted well, scouted free agents well, and stocked your team just the way you're supposed to. What a catch, and one-handed, and I'm starting to lose my awe about the play, and maybe I shouldn't. How much of this is the player? How much of it is the glove?
Well, those gloves, they do have a little grip to them,
They
don't
get that
they?
little extra tackiness to them now, and I know the guys in the NFL, the competition committee, some other places, they're talking about examining those gloves to see if they're having too much of an effect on the game.
And Tampa Bay trots out there now. Now a first down throw, Stafford. He's going to find his tight end, Boyle. These are his numbers from last week's contest. 6 catches, 64 yards, and a touchdown.
And you can tell early, they're going to look his way quite a bit, and he made himself available on that one.
Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. On the counter, this is Singletary. And this Giants defense getting off the ball quickly. They stop him behind the line again.
All right, quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers playing with their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And my guess is the wheels are turning on that other sideline. As a play caller, you're filing that away right now, aren't you?
Yeah, you're trying to find that opportunity later on when you can play action them or stick something to them between the second and the third level.
Alert three. Alert three.
From the gun on third down, Stafford. And Jeffrey's got it. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That's good for a Buccaneer first, a pickup of 12 yards.
I don't care how many times we say it, I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
Stafford looking middle, and it's incomplete. He was looking for Devin Singletary there. That'll bring up second down. So second down, still 10 yards to go. Ball on the 43. Singletary here running out of the gun. And give him about 5 as he gets this up to the 48-yard line. After one, a one-point game, 7-6. Second quarter now in Tampa Bay. It's the Buccaneers in control of the football. They've got a third down and 5 to start things out.
Check 55 to Mike. Record. Check 52.
Play action. Stafford. And the giant rush gets home as down he goes. Joey Bosa coming in to drop him for a loss of 8, and it also brings up 4th.
Sometimes I watch games and wonder why they use play fakes on certain passing situations because it's not going to fool anyone. I don't know if that was the case here, but the end result was the same. No one fooled. The quarterback was hit.
Here's Thomas Morstead on now to punt it away on 4th down. Desmond King back deep. He only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. Oh, and what a play on special teams here. This is going to be down inside the 5, all the way down at the 2-yard line.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb.
Get that quarterback. Get on. 57's the mic.
Here's Joe Mixon as they start on the ground. And he will double the space they have to work with as they take it from the 2 to the 4.
Well, not a game that you're going to go crazy about, but when you start at your own 2-yard line, any type of space is good for the offensive guys.
Yeah, you just can't go backwards from here. They did it. Now we'll see if they can keep it on schedule here on second down. And he takes this just about a yard shy of the 20.
Let's go, boys. Bring it up.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
So a much rosier picture now after that last play. Here's 1st and 10 at the 19-yard line. This is Mixon. And he'll push forward for about 4 up to the 23. Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. They'll try to throw now. Prescott. And his throw's going to be incomplete. He was looking for the tight end Lance Kendricks there. And it's 3rd down. So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. From the shotgun, it's Prescott. The pass complete to Ryan Grant. And he'll be corralled right around the 34. It's a gain of 11 and a giant first down. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10.
Let's go, B. Big series right here. We got to step it up.
They go back to the ground now with Mixon. And he'll rumble for about 5, up close to the 40.
Single slot.
Brings up second and
From the 39, Prescott. Open man is Robbie Anderson. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. 11 yards there, first down.
Well, they obviously red man covers their partner, and he got downfield, broke down the defender, made him
What do you
think,
mean by that?
he made him think he was going to run a different route. Probably thought he was going to take it upfield, and then he curls back inside for the completion.
Prescott now from the 50. This into the hands of his running back, Ronald Jones. They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9. From the gun to give to Mixon. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. 15 yards on the play, first down.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Back to Mixon on first down. And a solid run down inside the 30. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. The former Gamecock here. This is Mike Davis. And he will take it on in for a giant touchdown. Mike Davis. His first touchdown of the new season. And the Giants are able to add on to their lead. And there you go. Nothing really too complex. Block, keep to your assignments, let them run it in. They did it.
Fundamental football. Good blocking beats good tackling on that play. End result, touchdown.
Bryant's extra point up and good. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. So that one a long 11-play drive. And the finishing touch was that nice long run into the end zone. And after the touchdown, here's Bryant now to kick it away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Now the Buccaneers offense gets ready to head back onto the field. Now they're about to come up on drive number 4, but so far just 2 field goals on drives 1 through 3.
Wondering if the head coach has talked with his offense coordinator and said, look, let's go ahead and press this a little bit. I'm giving you 4 downs on just about every occasion to try and get this offense kick-started and have it culminate in touchdowns. You know, maybe someday press it a little bit. This might be the case.
It'll be a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd and 11. Another example right there how this defense really is winning the entire game at the point of attack.
Yeah, right there at the line of scrimmage, because they are dominating it. It allows their interior guys to get upfield and spill into the backfield. So how are you going to combat that? You know, because they're bringing your tight end, keep him in. Your running backs, they have to step forward. Bottom line, your offensive line has to block them first to give yourself a chance.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Now a run with Singletary. They'll be brought down on the 30-yard line after a gain of 6. The Bucs on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This will be 3rd and 5. From the gun, here's Stafford. And he's going to find his man out of the backfield. That's complete.
When you lose that kind of yardage on a pass play, you often expect it to be a sack. But that wasn't the case there. They completed the pass. Probably would have been better off just dropping the football and making an incompletion as opposed to catching it and losing that kind of yardage.
Here's Thomas Morstead now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. Officially, that'll go as a 52-yard punt. Not too shabby. And it'll be Giant football, 1st and 10. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. A good job in the passing game, decent job in the running game, but really they've been more effective through the air. We'll see if that shifts at all as this goes on.
Thus far, it feels like they're calling this game in reverse. Normally you run to set up the pass. Here it feels like they're passing, hoping to set up the run and be more effective later on in the game.
Yeah, you can do it both ways. We usually talk about it in the reverse, however.
No doubt about it.
On 2nd and 9, Prescott. That's complete to his tight end. This is Lance Kendricks. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. Now they'll try to convert on 3rd and 6 after the 4-yard completion. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. We remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll send you cross-state to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman will have all the stats and all the scores from games going on during another busy Sunday in the National Football League. He gets this in the hands of Mixon, and he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a 1st down. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Here's Prescott. He finds his target. It's Matthews. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. It's a gain of 11 and a Giant 1st down. He finds Matthews. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. The Giants going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with exactly a minute to go before halftime. Prescott going to come up 1st and 10. And he's 4 for 4 now, throwing the ball to start the drive. To the air again, Prescott. To Mixon on the check down. Now the Giants will use the second of their 3 timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Prescott yet again. Oh, Prescott stripped, and it's picked up by the Buccaneers. The big man, get the oxygen tank ready. The 30. Past the 20. And a terrific return there. They're finally able to corral him down near the 11-yard line. Always fun to watch a big boy pick it up and go. He may need a little oxygen on it. He may need a lot of oxygen on the sideline.
Not only that, how about you and me trying to balance ourselves up here because you can feel the shaking all the way up to the booth. That big guy trying to get it to the house.
Alshon Jeffrey working his way back out there now to help lead this offense. They've got to be thinking, how can we get him a little bit more involved here? Second quarter, you're down, and really, he's been out of the mix.
I would agree with that, and oftentimes you hear, well, we're just taking what the defense is giving us, but sometimes that's just not good enough. Sometimes you have to...
And he hauls it in for the Buccaneer touchdown. Nick Boyle, his 3rd touchdown now on the year, as his guys have cut the lead down to 2.
Yeah, touchdown. I love it. Now it's only a 2-point game. I know it's the first half, but you got to think. Go for 2. Tie it up. Go into the locker room. What are you doing? Come on.
You're bold. You're bold.
It's real easy to be bold sitting up here rather than down there and making that decision.
We don't have to make those decisions. Either way, little time left on the clock here in the second quarter. We'll see how this all plays out. PAT up and good by Rosas. And the lead is cut to 1 at 14-13. Now after the touchdown, here's Rosas on to kick it away. This one taken just inside the 10. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. The second quarter score, meanwhile, down in Arizona. And the early lead there belonging to the Cardinals. That one tight to this point, and you'd have to imagine it'll stay tight throughout. Joe Mixon and the rest of his offense making their way back onto the field. The passing game, they've had more success there than the running game. Maybe something they game plan for.
How come they didn't tell us about it?
Because they wanted to keep it a secret.
We did ask, didn't we? But I think what happened in this one is they've realized that they've established the run pretty well, and teams are going to key on that. They thought they could open it up and have success through the air, and that's exactly what's going on.
Yeah, they've had success, at least so far, here in the second quarter. On second down, here's Mixon. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. 6 yards to pick up, and that's a first down. So a very tight first half. We had to break in a one-point game. As we send you a stone's throw away across I-4 to Orlando. There standing by is Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach?
All right, Brandon, thanks. And welcome in everybody to our EA Sports Halftime Report. Time for a look around the NFL here in Week 3 of the new year. Lastly, let's check on one final game for you. And you can see they are scoreless as they play the second quarter. In the game you're watching, you've seen a strong first half out of Dak Prescott. His guys lead, though, by only a point. It's been a tight one. As for the start of the third quarter, we'll send it back to Brandon Godden.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. This will be fielded at the 8. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. On the NFL scoreboard, they are in the second up in Seattle. The gap's getting wider there. The Saints have scored again. That'll be a game to monitor as we go along. So now the Giants set to take over on offense. They've won 2 straight, and they lead this one as well as they come up on 1st and 10. Prescott on 1st down. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down. Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 29. Now Prescott. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. Out of the gun, here's Prescott. Got a man, it's his tight end, Lance Kendricks. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. And they're able to convert on 3rd with a solid gain of 23.
The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. Prescott looks to throw on 1st. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Grant. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or 2 shy of the 30. It's a Giant 1st down on a gain of 16. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. On the run, it's Mixon. And he struggles to get a yard here, maybe a yard, down to the 31. Again, it's Mixon. They follow up the 1st down 1-yard run with a minimal gain of 2. The 22 is the line to gain here on 3rd down. Prescott from the gun. And he hits his man, Matthews. And this is going to lead to another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Bucs 16.
Partner, this is one of the best routes anyone can have in their offensive playbook. Tough to defend because you think it's a go route, and then he breaks it back on the comeback. There's one other thing you need as well.
A well-thrown ball?
Exactly right. You have a guy who has some precision in throwing the football because of the timing of the route.
Prescott now. 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. From the red zone now, Prescott. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
I think it's okay there. They didn't get a whole lot on that play, but it's nice to have a safety valve that's built like this guy. Big target, guy you can spot pretty easily. Put it on him when your other targets aren't open.
2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on 1st down. Looking to throw. Prescott. Oh, the Buccaneer pressure too much. Down he goes. The sack there by Trent Murphy.
Enough takes a start to have a good drive. Quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
The Bucs with an extra defender now in the secondary here on 3rd down. Prescott. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
That's a good job there creating the contact to force the incompletion. And now since it's 4th down, that should set up a field goal situation.
And a nice sigh of relief defensively to be able to hold them to 3. Now Matt Bryant, who spent 4 seasons in a Buccaneer uniform. Right hash, 37-yard attempt. And Bryant's kick is good. And that'll move their lead up to 4 now. So a good kick there. They put the bow tie on it with 3 points.
And let's face it, everybody wants a touchdown. We know that. But in the NFL, defenses are awfully good. You're not going to score each and every time. Be able to knock the ball through the post and take the 3.
By the way, I said bow tie. I meant just bow.
Either way.
Not the tie, but yeah.
Either way.
You got it.
I just went right past it.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Here comes the Buccaneers offense. They get their first reps of the second half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
Well, as a lineman, they are trained. You've got to stay close to home. If you're more than a yard downfield, they're going to toss that flag, and they did there.
250. You must be getting tired of seeing me.
Now a play fake it at Stafford. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down. So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down. They run the counter. Singletary. And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28.
It's interesting going into this game. There was so much talk from both sides about who would control the line of scrimmage. I think we've seen who has it in this one so far.
Well, they bottled him up. He's barely averaging over 3 yards a carry right now. Throwing on 3rd down. Stafford. And the throw there going to be incomplete. They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple weeks.
Oh, that's the perfect word for it, precise. Because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row, you have a job as long as you want one in this league, won't you? I mean, let's face it, it's not just West Coast offense either. He's putting the ball downfield as well.
So a change of possession here on the punt. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Now Dak Prescott and the offense heading back onto the field. How do you break down his game so far? Just the one touchdown pass, but sometimes the touchdown pass stat category, that doesn't tell the whole story.
It really doesn't, not until you balance it with the error side, and in this case, he hasn't thrown any interceptions, so a lot of...
He's got a man, complete, and he takes it all the way down to the 28-yard line. It's a big-time play there for the G-men, 47 yards.
We always talk about the guy who paid off the play, don't we? The guy who caught it or ran it. But how about the elements that go into making a big play? This one in particular, able to scan the field, pocket held up nicely. What a terrific job by the offensive line. The route, well run, and the football, right on the money.
So now then, the big play has him all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. Mixon with it. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. It's a gain of 11 and a giant first down. So they go pass, now they go run, and 2 plays resulting in really nice pickups.
Certainly sounds like a 50-50 deal, doesn't it? Sounds like great balance. Well, you know what all those coaches have told us over the years, Brandon, that balance is? It means doing what you want to when you want to. That play calling is working very well for them right now.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Trent Murphy able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
That's his 2nd sack of the game. And the best defensive ends, they do their homework as much as offensive guys do. They know how to beat the offensive lineman across from them, what moves they need to do to set them up. This guy's been pretty good at it all game long.
Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. They'll run with Mixon. Mixon hit, and the ball is out. And it's picked up by the Buccaneers. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
We just saw the dilemma for every coach. You want them to fight for the extra yardage, but somehow continue to cover the football. Oftentimes when you fight that hard, the ball becomes exposed.
Defensively, it's obvious they're trying to be more aggressive. First tackle a little too aggressive. Second one, though, they strip it loose. Here comes the Tampa Bay offense now heading back out onto the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
And defensively, a dime look here. 6 DBs on 3rd and 12.
No surprise at all.
Prescott now. Under pressure, and he'll go down. Back at the 26-yard line. Vernon Butler in there to drop him for a 6-yard loss, and that will lead to 4th down. You think back to last year, Dak Prescott was sacked 56 times, 2nd most in the league behind Deshaun Watson of the Texans. So out comes the field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. Made his first, this now from 42 yards out. The kick by Bryant is good. And that'll make this a 7-point game. So he splits the uprights, and has to be a nice feeling. Right when it left his foot, knew it was good.
Yeah, just like a good 3-point shooter in basketball, right? Release the ball, fall back on defense without even looking. You know it's going in the hoop.
So as it turns out, a 2-play drive resulting in the field goal. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. They trail 20-13 our score as they have it 1st and 10.
Set. 180. Right there in the middle. 55. You better be afraid of me.
On 1st down, they'll start out with Singletary. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4. 2nd and 6, just inside the 30. They'll fake the give. Now Stafford. Incomplete, almost intercepted. They haven't picked him off yet. Would have been a great time for the first, but instead it's 3rd down. On 3rd down, Stafford. And he fires one, but incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
Here's Thomas Morstead now. He's been terrific so far. His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Robbie Anderson making his way back onto the field. Seems like the measuring stick for a receiver for a great game is 100 yards. Well, he's well past that now.
And as we analyze how he's getting him, that's where it really becomes fun because, let's face it, they keep sending coverage at him, keep trying to put the pressure on, yet he finds ways downfield and finds openings. That's a really crafty receiver.
That'll be taken in by Anderson. And he almost gets this to the 30, taken down about a yard shy. 13 yards, good for a Giant 1st down. Mixon with a 1st down carry. He'll have a 1st down past the 40, and he'll take it to the 43-yard line. 13 yards, good for a Giant 1st down. He continues to be effective running the football, a big reason that they have the lead.
And I love one of the quotes that I read about him where he said of himself, "I love it when a team just hops on my back and I just carry them along."
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on 1st down. Now Mixon. Mixon hit, and all the ball is out. And it's picked up by the Buccaneers. 20, 10, 5. And he will not get all the way home, but he will take this back down to about the 2-yard line.
Hey, whatever happened to the days of just getting a fumble recovery? Everyone's into taking it the other way and trying to create points themselves, aren't they?
Well, they are, and now a terrific opportunity inside the 5. Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. And after a sluggish start, he's really bounced back. The numbers bear that out.
And you're a baseball guy, partner. How many at-bats over the course of a baseball season?
Oh, boy, 4 in a game.
Yeah, about 4 in a game.
4 times 162.
350 or so, right? Sometimes it takes a while for a guy to get going. That's my point. It's not the first few carries. You don't worry about that. As they go along, get that guy lathered up, get those blocking assignments down. Those 2-yard gains turn into bigger gains as the game moves along.
Now a nice play defensively on 1st down as this is knocked away and incomplete. On 2nd and goal, Stafford.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on 1st down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on 1st down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up 2nd down.
They'll give it here to Brown. And he's in. Touchdown, Buccaneers. Malcolm Brown, his first touchdown here of the new campaign, as they are an extra point away now from tying this football game. Able to punch it in on 3rd down makes it easier for those guys on the sideline. They didn't have a 4th down decision to make.
Yeah, could you feel the exhale? Because they were already thinking ahead, as all the good coaching staffs do. Anticipating, will we have to make the call? They already had it lined up, never even got to it.
Rosas good with the extra point, and that will tie things at 20 all. The drive there only spanning 3 plays, and it's culminated by a 2-yard touchdown run. Fitting for what's been a tight ball game. We're all even at 20 now as the kick's away. This one taken just inside the 10. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Joe Mixon and the rest of his offense making their way back onto the field. I think he's still shaking his head a little. It was his fumble on the previous drive that led to the touchdown that has us tied.
And sometimes it's worse on a runner who drops it like that to watch the other team take the ball downfield and score than maybe if they just returned it right away. You know what I mean? Because sometimes what happens that fast, you're right back out on the field. Instead, he had to watch it happen. Let's see if it affects him going forward the rest of the game.
A bit of an opening there on the first down run as they get this forward for about 6 yards. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4. On 2nd down and 4, Prescott firing quickly here, and that's complete.
Here we go.
And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Give him 14 on that one and a first down. We saw a number of good games earlier today. This one might top all of those. It's been a dandy as we come up on 1st and 10. To throw is Prescott. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. 2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down. They'll run here with Mixon. And down to the 44, 5 yards that time. And a nice run. They're going to take this close to the first down marker at the Bucs 44. On play action, Prescott. And this is hauled in by Matthews. And this is going to lead to another first down as the tackle's made at the Bucs 29-yard line. First down throw for Prescott. He gets it to Matthews, complete. First down for the Giants as they pick up 12.
Come on now, let's go.
Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
Prescott going to come up 1st and 10. And he's 4 for 4 now, throwing the ball to start the drive. On the delay, it's Mixon. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It'll be a loss of 1, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11.
You know, it's become cliche, but we have seen it and observed it. When runners have days like what we're seeing right now, they often take their offensive linemen out for steaks afterwards, don't they? They don't go buy them dinner. But after a play like that, he might reduce and might go to the corner and just grab a hot dog or two, huh?
Hey, I mean, they've still been blocking for him well in this game. They don't get one mulligan up front.
Okay, so what we're saying then is we're going petite filet instead of porterhouse.
8
How's
ounce.
that?
8 ounce is good.
All right, just checking.
11 yards there, first down.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw it through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. A field goal could get him the lead, but it might not be enough here as they come up on 1st and goal. Here's Prescott. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down. They'll try again here from the 7 on 2nd and goal. Throwing, Prescott. This one caught by Davis. So he got free of 1 tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. This has been a long drive. You got to figure a field goal would be a letdown. Can they convert now on 3rd and goal? Prescott to throw it. And down he goes. A Buccaneer sack. Well, this has been a pretty sizable drive. They've had some success. Finally, the defensive coordinator found some success of his own.
I think he just simply said enough of that. Okay, they've moved the ball well. We need to force the issue from our end, and that's exactly what he did.
So now one of the biggest kicks of the night is forthcoming. And Bryant's kick is good. And they have taken the lead here in the fourth quarter. So the drive here ends with a field goal. It does give them the lead, but this one's still certainly a long ways from over.
It definitely puts a lot of pressure on your defense to hold the lead, right? They're happy to have it and happy to be out there trying to do so. But I know as a former player, in the back of their mind, they're thinking, why don't you score the touchdown and seal this thing?
This will be fielded at the 6. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. Here comes the Tampa Bay offense now heading back out onto the field. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Now a throw right side taken in here to start this drive. The drive starting play, a good one. Give him 19. The big play to start him out. Has him at the 45 already.
Watch left, watch left, watch left. Here it comes.
A shotgun snap for Stafford. Looking for his running back, and he's got him. Call it a 3-yard gain, and that'll make it a second down. That first down completion only netted him 3. Second and 7. Now Stafford. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, third down. They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on second down. Oh, a ball batted in the air, and now it's intercepted. Picked off at the 47. And he's able to get it back to the 41-yard line.
Brandon, this is a veteran quarterback back there. He should know better than to make a throw like this. This is definitely not his best ball, and I think he knew this was trouble the second it was leaving his hand.
New York set to take the field. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
On 2nd and 12, Prescott. That's complete to his tight end. This is Lance Kendricks. Give him 14 on that one and a first down. On 1st and 10, Prescott. It's brought in by Janis. And he'll go down right on the edge of the red zone following a pickup of about 7 or 8. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. This is 3rd and 2, maybe the biggest play in this football game. They'll stay on the ground, mixing again. And that one going nowhere from the start as he's met in the backfield and goes backwards. That'll bring up 4th. They had the 8-yard gain on first down, but unable to do much from there. So an important try here from Matt Bryant. 3 points separating these two sides with 2 minutes left to go in the 4th. So it's Giants football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. The kick by Bryant is good. And that will add 3 more to their lead. It pushes it up to 6. So they get to 3, but you wonder now, is that going to be enough?
Excellent question, because when I look at the smiles on that side of the field, they're a little tight, aren't they? If they had scored a touchdown there, those would be big half-moon grins right now because they'd feel a whole lot better about their position.
And a touchdown in the other direction, all of a sudden they're down. This is fielded at the chalk of the 10. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. So Matthew Stafford in the offense. Down by 6. A minute 53 remaining. They need a touchdown. A field goal is worthless now as they come up on 1st and 10. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. And he fires one incomplete. Andy Isabella was the intended target. And that'll bring up 2nd down. They'll look to throw. This one caught by Isabella. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down. Now the Bucs going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. Stafford. And unable to connect. If he had caught it, it would have been a 1st down. Instead, it's 4th. There have been quite a few plays they might look back on and say, we really have hurt ourselves, and that was another example.
And this is late-game execution. Everything on the line, so it all has to come together properly. The throw's made. Where's the catch? Got to catch in that spot.
On 4th down, Stafford. Open man is Allison, complete. And he's got the 1st down yardage before he's brought down at the 42. They keep the game alive, at least for the moment, as it's a 1st down. He's going to find his tight end, Boyle. Stafford barking out signals and trying to get his guys set quickly. Back to throw. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down. So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off by Darquez Denard. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And he will score. Touchdown, Giants. Well, when both guys went up for the ball, I just thought, who's going to come down with it? I didn't think he'd come down with it and then take it all the way for a touchdown.
That's battling, isn't it? Because normally, if both guys go up for it and come down with it, the tie goes to the offense. The defensive player didn't want it to be a tie at all. He wanted a little bit more, took it, and went the other direction.
The defense more than did its job. Now the offense is summoned onto the field as they'll go for 2. Following the interception, here's Prescott to the goal line, but it's incomplete.
I know they didn't tack on the 2 points, but I liked their attempt. After the interception return for a touchdown, I was thinking to myself, forget kicking it, go for 2, and they did.
Well, yeah, and everybody's scrambling. Maybe you catch the defense on their heels. They weren't ready to be out there.
Yeah, it's almost like a sudden change, right? There's a turnover, you take it away, they stuck it in the end zone, keep the momentum going. Give credit to the defensive guys for rallying and stopping that 2-point attempt.
And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. Here comes Matthew Stafford now to lead his offense back out there. So, Charles, there are the numbers. What's happened here? Defensive adjustments that's caused him to sort of fall off a bit?
I think so. That has to happen. You've got to make some changes because in the first half, they were pretty effective. But the second part is sometimes when you're doing really well, you get off your game a little bit. You get off the gas a little. You're like, okay, we've got this thing. And that's not necessarily the case. Maybe right now, someone just needs to tell a joke in the huddle, loosen things up, and get their big guy going again.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Stafford, he's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. The Bucs forced to use their 3rd and final timeout as they get it with just 19 seconds left on the clock. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Here's Stafford. And the pressure gets to him and brings him down. Stafford is sacked. The man they call Snacks, Damon Harrison, gets him for a loss of 8. What great push up front. Charles, we saw a lot of points go up in this one. Certainly defensively, stuff that they can look at on film, don't you think?
No doubt about it. And they've got to go back and check where the errors are, how they're going to fix them, and continue to get better at what they do. But they also need a little adjustment with their confidence. To give up that many points, even if you win a game, that can hurt you.
So for the Giants, it's an ideal start as they move to 3-0 now on the young season. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for the Bucs, they'll fall to 1-2. And they'll look to regroup next week as they head to L.A. to take on the Rams. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew here at EA Sports, I'm Brandon Gaudin saying so long, everybody.
Hey everybody, it's the coach. You're tuned in to Sunday Night Football on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we've got what should be an interesting matchup between the Los Angeles Rams and the Cleveland Browns. I'll join you again at halftime to look at some of these stats and scores from earlier this afternoon. But for now, it's Sunday Night Football. And on the call, as always, Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
Coach, thanks. EA Sports coverage of the National Football League brings us to First Energy Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Los Angeles Rams and the Cleveland Browns. Hi again, everyone, with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, we look at this Browns ball club. And losers their last time out, so they'll look to make amends here.
And one of the best ways you can do that is to be at home, and they are. They're going to try and ride that home crowd and that wave of emotion to a victory in this one.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Rams, they too were losers last week, so they're also hoping to get back in the win column.
Something's got to give in this one, right? Both teams want to start a new streak, and they both want it to be a victory. This should be a fun one.
Two 1-1 teams here, each looking to move over 500, and we're underway here in Week 3. Fielded about a yard deep. They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. So here come the Browns for their first drive on offense. They'll be led out by a guy who's been around the league for quite a while. It's the veteran quarterback, Matt Schaub.
Okay, I thought there was something to build on in last week's game by his performance. I thought he played fairly well overall. The numbers won't knock your socks off. 2 touchdown passes and an interception. The bottom line, though, they lost.
Yeah.
How does he eliminate that one interception?
Here we go! 30 base. Hey, let's get that ball here. Let's get that ball right here. No, Mike 52, Mike 52.
They go play action here on first down. And incomplete to open things up. Mike Evans, the one he was looking for. But it's going to be second down. Here's the offense, and sometimes you got to show love to the big guys.
That you do. And we're talking about Jason Kelsey now, not Travis, his brother who plays tight end. Jason lines up at center, a threat to go to the Pro Bowl each and every year.
From the 24, they'll go again on 2nd and 10. Here's Shaw. Open receiver, that's Hayden Hurst, the tight end. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for third down. Now Shaw. Looks to throw, fires right side. And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's fourth down. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces fourth down. On fourth down, here's Sam Martin on to kick it away. Back deep is Trevor Davis. They punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. And that will hit and continue on out of bounds.
We're certainly not going to see a better punt than that. Definitely taking a chance, because if that thing clips the pylon, it comes out to the 20, but instead it goes out of bounds at the 1-yard line.
And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. They go play action with Ryan. And, oh, that is going to be a safety. Well, we thought these two defenses, they might come to play. One has already come to play here, a safety for the opening points of the game.
Brandon, let's file this play away, because if it turns out to be a tight game, who knows? This could wind up being the difference.
So they will accept the penalty and move forward. They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10 at their 36-yard line. They'll set up to throw. And this is caught by Evans. That'll move the sticks for the Browns, a gain of 12. The numbers for Evans a week ago: 7 catches, 121 yards, and a touchdown.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that he's off to a hot start here in this first month, and those are the kind of performances you expect to see going forward.
A first carry for Christian McCaffrey, who made his first Pro Bowl last year. And he's going to take this one across midfield and into Ram territory. A solid run on first down, gain of 7, leaves him with a 2nd and 3. Now this one into the hands of the tight end, Hayden Hurst. And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1. The starters on defense here for Los Angeles.
Strong safety Sean Williams really bounced back from injuries in previous seasons to post one of the best years of his NFL career. 5 interceptions in 2018, led the league in interception return yards, provides great veteran leadership, and some real thump coming from his spot in the secondary.
Here's McCaffrey. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. That gain of 9 buys them a new set of downs. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. He finds his target. It's Evans. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8. So a look here at the key inactives, and we got this list before the game down on the field. They tell us the same thing every time, don't they? Next man up.
No excuses. Be ready to play. That's the mantra of every organization. The key is having guys on the roster who are capable of filling in and playing at a high level. That's when you know you've drafted well, scouted free agents well, and stocked your team just the way you're supposed to.
They follow up the gain of 2 with a gain of 1 that time. Looking to throw. And down he goes on the pressure from the Rams defense. The Mississippi State man, Chris Jones, with a sack there.
This offensive line has struggled. In fact, when we sat down with the coach, he said it's been in tatters lately. They allowed 6 sacks in their last game. Just gave up another one right there.
In tatters, so it sounds a little bit like this right now?
Exactly. It's like that paper being ripped. And right now, they've got to find a way to get it back together.
Here's Sam Martin now, as he'll punt it away for the second time. And that will go out of the back of the end zone. Way too much mustard. Not a good punt, and it will come out to the 20. Here's the Los Angeles offense as they get set to take possession.
Ready, back 25. Come on, let's go.
They'll go with their leading rusher from a season ago. This is Aaron Jones. And he'll be upended after a gain of 5, up to the 25-yard line. Here's a 2nd and 5 now from the 25. Here's Ryan to throw. It's caught by Aguilar. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line.
Let's go, baby.
Now a first down carry by Jones. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. It's a Rams first down on a pickup of 10.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
And they'll keep on the ground with Jones. And he's swallowed up right near the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. On second down, it's Jones. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. A gain of 13. It's a first down.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
A good run there off right tackle in an old-school NFL football. The right side of the offensive line, often known as the nasty side. The left side, usually the technical side. Kind of reminds me of the old Atlanta Falcons 2009, 2010. That's how they constructed their offensive line.
On first down, Ryan. And he can't escape the pressure. Ryan goes down.
Hindsight is 20/20, partner. Maybe they should have kept it on the ground again.
Well, it almost looked like the O-line was run blocking again. I mean, they opened up a big hole last time. This time they opened up a hole, and the quarterback got sacked. Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. A run with Josh Adams, the Eagles' leading rusher as a rookie last year. And they won't fare much better here as he maybe gets back to the line. No gain on the play this time, and it'll be a 3rd and long situation coming up. Here's Ryan. A dump underneath to Jones. And he's going to be stopped here at the 43, and that is not near enough to pick up the first.
Well, that's certainly playing down in distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
So on 4th down, kicking it away here, Michael Pilardi. Back to return it, Christian McCaffrey. And no return possible here as they angle this one out of bounds. Heading out is the Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, Everyone talks about converting on third down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a first down and change our momentum?
It's a loss of 5 there, bringing up second. So add that tackle for a loss to the 2 that he had a week ago.
And you know what he's doing right now?
Smiling?
Yeah, definitely doing that. But he's also patting his guys on the back, his defensive front, because they're keeping him clean, meaning no one's getting to him as a blocker. He's able to run to the football, and the plays he's making, he's spilling them in the offensive backfield.
On 2nd and 15 now. Schaub, he finds Taylor, complete. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down. He'll drop to throw. And that is incomplete. Had to pass there, 3rd and long on your own side of the field. Just couldn't come up with anything.
That's why teams always talk about having to win the early downs, meaning you've got to gain yardage and set yourself up for 3rd and short, because when it's 3rd and long, the odds go down significantly trying to pick up the first down, even throwing the football.
Here's Sam Martin now as he's on to punt for Cleveland. And he's getting a workout here in this first quarter as he gets it away. Returnable here for Davis. They'll call that a punt of 59 yards. Tough to do better than that. And the Rams will go on offense here with a 1st and 10. And the Rams now coming out on the field. They punted last time they had it. What steps, Charles, you think they have to take to make sure they don't do that again?
Well, let's just go to the football 101, the trade expression 101. Win first down. Make 5, 6, 7 yards on first down and make it a 2nd and 3, 2nd and manageable. Keep accumulating first downs that way. Keep moving the football. You don't want to get behind the sticks, because then the defense has the advantage.
An entertaining start to this one. More to come on EA Sports.
Ready. 51, come on. Double dog. That's the way.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Ryan completes it to Aguilar. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. A gain of 13. It's a first down. On first down, it's Jones. And not much there at all. Maybe a yard up to the 43.
57. Mike, 57.
On 2nd and 9, Ryan gets this to his running back, Aaron Jones. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. It's a first down on a gain of 10. They'll run on first down. Jones. They'll get only a couple down to the 44. They run on 2nd down with Adams. And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. Now it's Ryan. He sets up the screen to Jones. And he's going to be stopped here at the 43, and that is not near enough to pick up the first. Only 2 on the screen pass there, and it'll be 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
Here's Michael Pilardi now as he's on to punt for L.A. This one angles out of bounds at a good spot in the coffin corner. And they're going to mark this out of the 5-yard line.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb.
Ready. 8, read. 52, come on. It's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long day.
From deep in their own territory, they look to throw. Michael Johnson marches in to sack him.
Good job.
Now this is where field awareness comes into play. He's getting perilously close to his own goal line, and after that sack, backed up to his own 2.
Second and 14 as they've got work to do here after the sack. They'll run with McCaffrey. McCaffrey trying to escape, but he cannot. They get him in the end zone, and that's a safety. And, Charles, at some point, you can't keep worrying about big play. Can this be perfect? You just have to get the ball out of the end zone.
And in the offensive huddle, that was discussed when they called the play. Just get out of the end zone. But you know what's interesting? A lot of the times in the defensive huddle, they actually call a set and then say at the end of it, get a safety. So it's preached, it's coached, it's thought about.
Davis now to return it. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. And they'll be looking to avoid what happened last time with just punting the football.
But when you look at how teams play the game, that complementary football comes into play. How do I take care of my defense? How do I take care of my offense? Well, the defense is taking care of them in a lot of ways. Now it's time for the offense to jump things up and help their defense out. Give them a little bit of rest.
Yeah, time for them to give them a rest. Took the words right out of my mouth. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. To throw again on second down. Ryan. Aguilar has it. Oh, he dropped it. They were looking for him in the middle third. He couldn't catch it. Now third down. Ryan.
The beauty of being able to play his own defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football. Calvin Ridley more than justified his first-round selection in 2018. 64 catches as a rookie and found the end zone 10 times. Did a nice job getting open right there and picking up a first down.
Back 25.
Throwing now, Ryan on first down. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on first down, but he couldn't reel it in. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. On the delay, Jones. And down he goes at the 49, a 3-yard pickup. The Rams on third down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 7. From the shotgun, Ryan. And he's got a man, Calvin Ridley. And he's got this down to the 35.
Here we go. Here we go.
A gain of 16 yards. First down.
Ryan now 9 of 11 passing in this first half. He's got his guys at 1st and 10. Now Jones. And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. And give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
Now a draw play. This is Jones. And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1. The Rams on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 2. And he will have the first before he's brought down right on the chalk of the 20.
Yeah, once more, strong running, excellent blocking at the point of attack. They've got a nice little drive brewing right here.
This will be the first red zone opportunity now for the Rams. 1st and 10 right at the 20. Now they'll throw it with Ryan. His throw caught at about the 5. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. The Rams, they are on the move. They've got another first down. Second quarter, 2 minutes to go. Tie ball game. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete. Line of scrimmage, again the 4-yard line. Second and goal. Here's Ryan. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Watch tight end. We got three, fellas. We got three.
On third and goal, Ryan. And he is going to go down. Back at the 11-yard line. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Myers' kick is good. And with that, they will move out in front by 3. So they get the field goal, but that was a 14-play drive to get 3.
You sound like you're going negative on me,
I was.
It sounds like you're thinking the 3 is just not that good.
And people say that we're negative sometimes. So,
well, here's the deal. Getting the 3 is good. Obviously, you would think on a 14-play drive you're going to get 6 out of it. But that type of a drive can pay dividends later on because you might wear the defense down.
And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. And we shift to spotlighting Mike Evans. You would have to think they're going to make it more of a priority to get him the football. You're losing here in the second quarter, and he's been really quiet.
I think all we have to do, and it's too bad we can't actually see the actual play sheet now from the coordinator, because he's looking down at that and saying, okay, do I put him in different spots? Do I try and isolate him? What routes do I run? You're exactly right. They've got to get the ball in his hands and get their offense kick-started.
He does have the 2 catches, but pretty quiet so far. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27th. Throwing again on second down. Schaub, nowhere to go here. He lost the football. The Rams going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important third down. Now a run with McCaffrey. And he's going to lose yardage here back to the 12-yard line. Now the Rams will signal for a timeout, their second, as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Here's Sam Martin now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. A good kick, 48 yards, 4 on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. He's only had a couple of carries. I mean, when you've got a horse like this, second quarter, got to start to ride that horse a little more, don't you?
You can't just neglect him. He's got to touch it, and often, in order to get maximum out of him. Typically, these types of backs, it's the accumulation of carries, and that's when you see the damage as the game goes on.
Yeah, let's see, though. You're going to try to get him into the flow, we would assume here. Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete. On second and 10, Ryan toward the left sideline, but it's incomplete. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Out of the gun, it's Ryan. And he can't escape the pressure. Ryan goes down. Now the Browns signal for the second of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1. And he puts a little something extra into this one, by far his best of the night. And that one hits a little too close to the goal line, and it continues into the end zone for a touchback. Out comes Christian McCaffrey with the rest of the offense. They've given him some touches. They haven't had a lot of success on the ground. Do you maybe keep going to that well, or do you mix it up more?
I think you mix it up more, try and loosen things up. Get the defense to react to other people, other plays, but don't forget about it. That's your horse. You know, Secretariat lost twice in it.
And the Rams got him. They bring him down. It's Ryan Kerrigan getting the sack. Charles, not to point fingers, but how much of this goes on the shoulders of the offensive line? Well, look at the 6 sacks last week. That's the 4th in this game.
Definitely the bulk of it does go on the offensive line. That's what they're tasked with doing, keeping their quarterback upright and clean in the pocket. But I think they have to look at, okay, are we bringing in extra people? Is the ball out of the quarterback's hands quick enough? There are a few other factors that they have to look at to try and help out. But you're exactly right. It starts with the O-line.
And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. So we've hit halftime, just a field goal separating these two teams at the break. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. We'll get back to you and Charles in a minute. But first, time to give the folks at home a look at what's going on around the NFL. From there, we're off to check out another game. And you can see they are scoreless as they play the second quarter. Lastly, let's check on one final game for you. And you can see they are scoreless as they play the second quarter. In our game, it was the former MVP, Matt Ryan, with a strong first half. His guys lead, though by only a field goal. Still anybody's game. As we send it back to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Thank you, sir. A field goal separates these two teams as we come back for this second half. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Here's the Los Angeles offense as they get set to take possession. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
After getting stuffed on first down, not much better there. 2-yard gain. On third down, Ryan. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Zach Cunningham rolling in to get the sack.
That'd be exactly what they were looking for coming out to start the third quarter. Get a sack, get off the field, get the momentum going in their direction.
Get the ball back to your offense, right? Get that momentum because, hey, this lead is very, very slim. Here's Michael Pilardi now, standing right on his own 5-yard line. Here comes the pressure, and the Browns block it. Now it's scooped up, and this is a live football. And he'll score. Touchdown, Browns. In for the score. And once again, the Browns are back in front.
Partners, you well know every block punt wasn't necessarily a called block. Sometimes the guy just finds his way back there. Doesn't matter. The play happens, and that one turned into 6 points because they handled it so well after the block.
Chris Boswell now for the extra point. And that will ditch his 4th point game. Such a very rare block punt, scooped and returned for a touchdown. What an exciting play. Here's Martin now following the score as he'll send this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here are the Rams to take over. They fell in their ball game last week. That was a loss to the Saints, but they're on top here as they begin this drive.
Let's go. Hey, tight end right. Watch out.
They'll throw on first down, Bryant. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Now it's Ryan. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a 3rd down. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. And now the 3rd down throw incomplete as well.
We're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. Here's Michael Pilardi now. Remember, though, he did have one blocked earlier. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. Just a 2-yard return there following a punt of 48. And the Browns will take over 1st and 10. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. They have the lead now. They'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the 3rd quarter.
I like the way you term that because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about.
And that's caught inside the 30. A big play that time for Cleveland. 47 yards.
Well, we spent a lot of time exalting the offensive masterminds in this game, right? They draw up these beautiful plays. They look so perfect up on the board. But occasionally, sometimes you just say, throw it up and let him go get it. How about that play?
So now then, the big play has him all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. McCaffrey on the counter, and it's been like this all night long. Nowhere to run as they stop him behind the line. The defense showing some anger after giving up the big play. This time they'll lose 1 or 2. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
They stay on the ground. McCaffrey again. It's a gain of maybe 3, but it's going to leave them with still about 8 or 9 to go on 3rd down. In need of a conversion on 3rd down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense. Short throw underneath to Hurst. And he'll get this to the 23, but that'll be well short of what he needed. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. Now it's Chris Boswell on for the field goal try. This is a 40-yard attempt from the left hash. And Boswell's kick is good. And the drive will wind up yielding 3. So a good snap, good hold, and right down the middle.
Never in doubt. Just the way you used to hit them, partner.
You mean like kicking the ball?
Exactly.
Well, that was in high school.
Doesn't matter. I don't care what level. You hit them, they go through.
This is taken at the 3. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line just across the 25. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
A good run there on first down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now, the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game. It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives them a new set of downs.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. From the gun, it's Ryan. Complete to Jones. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. Give him 2 yards on that play, and that'll make it 2nd down. They'll run it now. This is Charkandrick West. And he'll push this forward only to about the 42-yard line. Brooks Reed with a tackle. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. And he can't escape the pressure. Ryan goes down. DeForest Buckner, his 2nd sack of the night.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
Here's Michael Pilardi now as he's on to punt for L.A. It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Heading out as the Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
He finds his target. It's Evans. That one good for the completion percentage, but no gain. It'll be 3rd down. Here's Shaw. He'll find Taylor. That's complete. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. That'll move the sticks for a gain of 12. On first down, this is McCaffrey. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. The Rams go nickel here defensively on 3rd. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. And he finds Stills, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A pickup of 24 on the 3rd down conversion. So from Rams territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 46. And we're back now here in Cleveland. It's the Browns football, and they've got the lead here as we start quarter number 4.
Ready, ready. Mike 5-4. Check, 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 check. Go.
Now a give, right side McCaffrey.
I got it.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Mike 52, Mike 52. Let's go. Ready, ready.
On 2nd and 9, Shaw. That's into the hands of the tight end, Ellison. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive.
You don't want no problem from me.
Well, they were unable to make anything really big out of that, but it's not a bad idea to find your tight end and give him an easy completion and keep moving things forward. Almost his bread and butter is a good running back dive play.
The Browns on 3rd down. They've converted 3 times in 8 chances. This is 3rd and 7. Now Sean. It's complete. Stills. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
Couldn't just sit on it here, could they? Had to throw the ball on 3rd down. Got the big completion in the pickup. Fresh set of downs now. They've got to feel great.
And defensively a backbreaker. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Back to the ground attack here. It's McCaffrey. And this has been a recurring theme tonight for sure. Nowhere to run. Back to the line of scrimmage, that's all. Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against? A free 5 yards as the defense jumps.
I know it's an anticipation game for them, but it's also a reaction game, and they reacted poorly on that one.
So the penalty certainly helps them out as they come up on 2nd and 5. McCaffrey following the penalty. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. It's a 1st down on a gain of 10. How about this offensive line? They're really starting to establish themselves, take over this game.
And before the series began, I know exactly what we said in the defensive huddle. Guys, we got to get no less than a 3 and out. Let's get off the field. Instead, they can't find any traction towards doing that. Right now, they're just getting muscled all over the field and getting pushed down it.
Here's Madison running on 1st down. And they work this near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another 1st down. And I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely. You want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
So 1st and goal, 6 points here would go a long way toward wrapping this one up. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. He finds Taylor, complete. And he goes backwards on this one, losing yardage to the 7. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll bring up a 2nd and goal. Now from the 7, here's 2nd and goal. On 2nd down, this is Madison. Oh, no, he lost the football. And now the Rams have got it, going the other way. And he returns it here to his own 18-yard line.
Well, that takeaway, partner, right there, that's a combination of coaching execution, and absolute belief, because a lot of guys will look at the scoreboard and go, this thing's pretty well done. But they still thought to themselves, if we can make a play, we give our teammates a chance to win it, and that's exactly what they did.
Here's the Los Angeles offense as they get set to take possession. And hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win first down. You win second down. And guess what? You start accumulating first downs. And that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. Great way to start the drive. 20 big ones and a first down. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. To throw is Ryan. Going up top. And that'll wind up incomplete. Try to give his man room to run under it, but it's second down. They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10. Throwing again. Ryan toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. So now 3rd and 10. They had the big play to start the drive, but 2 incompletions since. To throw again is Ryan. Gets this to his running back, Aaron Jones. And he can only manage to take the football to the 40, and that is well shy of the first down marker. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Here's Michael Pilardi now as he's on to punt for L.A. And this one hits at the 1, continues on into the end zone for a touchback. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. And they'll be looking to atone for last time's mistake of fumbling inside the red zone. Certainly they don't want to do that again.
And so much emphasis placed on red zone offense. I mean, you have periods devoted in practice just for that because everyone knows how vital it is to put points on the board when you've entered that part of the field. And to come away with nothing, that's difficult for a team to handle.
And difficult, and now we'll see if they can make it less difficult on themselves on this drive.
Well, it is our business to analyze what we saw out there, and on that play, I saw a defense staying in base, not taking a chance, not blitzing, in a situation where they absolutely need the football back. That's either a case of overthinking it or not thinking it through.
If you do blitz, do you have to be careful about where you're coming from, or are you just coming from all angles?
You have to be careful about where you're coming from, obviously, but at this stage, you have to take a few chances as well.
In on the tackle there, Bobby Wagner coming off a 3rd straight All-Pro season.
4 yards on the pickup. 2nd down.
To throw on 2nd and 6. Chubb. The linebacker, Bobby Wagner, able to get back in coverage and knock it free. One of the bigger plays in the game thus far. The crowd getting into it as we come up on a big 3rd down. And down he goes on the pressure from the Rams defense. Quinnen Williams in there to record the 2nd sack of his young NFL career.
Well, the beauty of screen passes is they take a little time to develop, and they can often hit big, but sometimes they take too long to develop, and sometimes you get sacked.
Yeah, what's perfectly called for a defense to attack a screen?
Typically a blitz, and even though people think that the screen operates against the blitz, if you have the blitz called and you still cover the screen, now that allows your blitzers to get there.
Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. Now, if you're a fan of punting, and I know that not many people are, but this game kind of turning into one for you.
Well, it's okay if it's a skills contest, right? We're really into it then, but not during the course of an actual game. This has turned into a field position game, though. Sometimes the better punter may actually determine the outcome.
And throwing here to start the drive as they connect left side. That's a gain of 13, 1st down Rams. first down. Ryan. Throw complete to the tight end, Morgan. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. That'll wind up a gain of 27 on the catch and run.
One of the advantages of zone defense, as I remember it, is being able to see the play develop in front of you. One of the disadvantages, when they find those levels where they can hit you with it, sometimes behind the corner and in front of the safety, it makes it tough to defend.
They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. On 1st and 10, it's Ryan. Jones has it. I call it no gain there on the first down play. 4th quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a 1-score game. So it's Rams football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Back to throw, and he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. DeForest Buckner in there to drop him as that clock continues to run. Offensive, and he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. The Rams going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts. They'll try and throw for him with Ryan. Completes it to Aguilar. And unable to break away. They stop him a few yards shy. So now let's reset here, Charles. They do have 2 timeouts left, so they can stop the clock twice. This one's not quite over yet.
No, and what you're doing on defense, you're going to use both timeouts, obviously. But you've got to call defenses are going to force the issue early, meaning you want that play over fast. You don't want to give them time to dance around in the backfield or run a wide sweep that'll take off time. Blitz them, put pressure on them, make sure that play ends quickly so that you can go ahead and keep moving.
Heading out is the Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here. And this one now not quite over yet. Still 2 timeouts remaining defensively. And boy, having that 3rd timeout would have really helped here.
Another example of why coaches really stress saving your timeouts for when you absolutely have to have them. They go over this all the time. Here's one of those situations.
Now the Rams will signal for a timeout, their 2nd. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. Back to the ground on 1st, it's McCaffrey. And hard running's going to get him over the 40 to the 42. The Rams going to be forced to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. And they take a knee. So here we go, Charles, 3rd down. Any chance you're throwing?
I don't think so. I think you got to keep the clock rolling here.
One final kneel down here as it comes inside the 42nd mark, and that should be enough to put this one on ice. And here now the punter, Martin, booming this one away.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Well, going into the final play of this game, they knew that they needed some type of a miracle there at the very end, but they couldn't get it done. However, we were treated to really a spectacular affair.
Even though they didn't finish it off, you're exactly right. They took us down to the last play. We're still, you were wondering, could it happen? Possibly, even though we both knew it was a long shot.
So for the Browns, they get back in the win column as they move to 2-1 now on the year. And they'll hit the road next week to take on the Baltimore Ravens. Meanwhile, for L.A., they'll fall to 1-2. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.